afternoon and welcome to the 147th Baccalaureate service. The service is about to begin. We invite you to please stand as we recognize the 1,219 graduating seniors and the academic procession. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome the platform party, President Anthony P. Monaco, trustees, the university chaplains, deans, members of the administration and of the faculty, the senior baccalaureate readers, and the Wendell Phillips speaker.
The Tufts Baccalaureate service for 2012 will now begin. Please rise for the invocation given by University Chaplain Reverend Patricia Bud Kepler.
At Tufts, we are enriched by religious diversity. Today, you will hear readings from some of the traditions and perspectives represented on campus. As you join with me in the spirit of common prayer, I invite you to participate through your own hearts. Let us join together in the spirit of prayer. Holy One, whom we call by many names, Nameless One, whom we seek in many ways, be with us and in us today. Through grace, we come together from all walks of life and many places to join in this baccalaureate celebration. We give you thanks and praise. We give thanks for and rejoice with the class of 2012. We give thanks for every accomplished member of it and all they have received from and given to Tufts, and all they have yet to offer the world. We are grateful for all those who have enabled and enriched their learning inside and outside of the classroom. And we are amazed and delighted that graduation is one day away. We give thanks for the family and friends who have supported these graduates through the years and who are rightfully proud of them now, with whom they will walk into the future. Be with all who participate in this service. May joy overflow and hope abound. Amen.
Please be seated. Kathleen Cohen, graduating senior, will deliver the greetings of peace.
Evoking the great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion towards ourselves and toward all living things. Let us pray that all living beings realize that they are all brothers and sisters, all nourished from the same source of life.
Our vocalist, Laurie Allen, will lead us in the opening hymn, Morning is Broken. She will sing the first verse, and then I invite you to rise and join us in the second and third verses.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rains do fall, starlit from heaven, like the birds do fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the garden, singing on the breezes where once we Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning. Love the one light leads the way. Praise with elation, praise every morning. God's recreation of the new
Please be seated. The Wendell Phillips Memorial Scholarship is one of two prize scholarships, the other being assigned to Harvard University, which were established in 1896 by the Wendell Phillips Memorial Fund Association in honor of Boston's great preacher and orator. The award is given annually to the junior or senior who has best demonstrated both marked ability as a speaker and a high sense of public responsibility. We now welcome the 2012 Wendell Phillips Speaker, Alistair Chan.
Thank you, Professor Hasselblad. Thank you, President Monaco, trustees, administrators, faculty, staff, coaches, friends, and family. We could not have come to this day without your hard work and support. Class of 2012, I am so honored and proud to be graduating with you tomorrow. And my final conclusion comes back to you. In 1887, Michelson Morley demonstrated that there is no ether, that the speed of light is constant. Only then could Einstein break through with his theory of relativity to answer a question that we did not know we were ignorant of before Michelson-Morley's experiments. Progress is not only finding new answers, it is also asking new questions. Anecdotes like that provided foundations for the first draft of my speech. I wanted to take historical examples to justify the value of our Tufts education, the value of asking questions and challenging conventional assumptions. The higher goal being to help us digest the value of our time at Tufts as we satisfied our distribution requirements and buzzed around busily from extracurricular activity to internship. There are limitless historical examples that reaffirm how excellence is achieved through following your passions and being open to new opportunities that come your way. We've all heard it before. Catchphrases of the famous speeches in the commencement genre include "listen to your heart" and "find what you love." Steve Jobs told graduates in 2005, "You have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future." Jobs provided the example of how sitting in on a calligraphy course at Reed College shaped Apple's font designs. In most of the commencement addresses that I've heard and read through, speakers attempt to provide the advice that they wish they had known when they were 21. I'm 21 right now, and though I find Jobs' message heartfelt and inspiring, I also find it difficult to relate to the once richest man in the world. He may be uniquely positioned to inspire us to aim for excellence, but I don't think that he is equally well positioned to quell our anxieties about the future. Anxiety is an emotion, and it is often ineffective to shape or control emotions with reason. Emotions are felt, and they are shared. Instead of turning to CEOs and Einsteins to help me grasp the meaning of graduation, I realized a couple of days ago that it's really you who share my excitement and my anxiety. You are the ones that are uniquely positioned to help me understand the meaning of tomorrow. So in the last 48 hours, I scrapped everything that I wrote, and I've assembled an oral history project of sorts. Your experiences and reflections have helped me emotionally digest graduation better than any famous historical figure ever could. First of all, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one who is freaking out about graduation, nor am I the only one who has tried to cope with graduation by ignoring it. According to Adam Weissman, May 20th is a wormhole. Lillian Brewer advised me, don't remind people that we only have 24 hours left. Some of us might get Thamesed in the aisleway. And Man Ting Cheng, as you so eloquently summarized, if any of your friends mention graduation, you tell them to shut up. You want to live in the moment and wait until after graduation before you reflect on it. And you're wondering if that's okay. Usually, I would dwell on that question, is that okay? My Tufts brain would ask, under what contexts? Under whose definition of what is okay? But today, I just want to point out to the rest of you who don't quite yet want to talk about what happens after May 20th. There's a choir of people with you singing "Shut Up" to anyone who pushes your buttons about talking about graduation. You're not the only one who feels this way. For many of us, This emotional block with confronting the idea of graduation is not focused around our careers, though it seems that everyone is only focusing on that when they ask us questions. Mostly, it is focused around our relationships. Kathleen Hollick, you find that the scariest thing is that everyone is going to head in different directions, and you don't know when you'll see them next. Victor Menden, you confessed that you're kind of in denial that some of your friends aren't coming out to Palo Alto next year with you. Kathleen and Victor, I share your fear. I don't want to start thinking about losing any of the amazing friends that I've made in the last 4 years. But just talking to some of you in these last 48 hours, I'm feeling a little less threatened by the imminent exodus from Medford. Tessa Shore, you advised me not to think about never seeing friends again, but instead to think about the next city that you'll meet them. Artemis, you looked back at your past and saw how you kept in touch with the people from high school that you loved. And Kathleen, you quelled your own fears by noticing that you still keep in touch with your Tufts friends who have already graduated. Some of us are anxious about choosing the correct path. To all of you with limited options, struggling to decide on what the next correct step is, I think Rob Keene's reflections provide an interesting mental exercise. Rob says, I know I'd live a different life and become a different person if I go to graduate school or if I start work right away. But I trust that either way, it's going to be great. My grandfather used to say to me, it doesn't matter. I originally used that philosophy when choosing sneakers when I was 10, but I think it applies today as well. Robbie, I think your sneakers always look great, and I can't wait to see what you accomplish as a PhD candidate or a submarine engineer in the next couple of years. Some of us are worried that these last 4 years were a mistake. It's ironic, isn't it, that we often don't realize what we value until we don't have it anymore. Saba Movahedi, you learned what your priorities are these last 4 years. You came to Tufts from Brussels, and I know that you did not really enjoy your time here. Far from your family, you realized how important family is to you. Far from home, you realized how much more comfortably you get along in Western Europe. Tufts, you say, was a mistake for you, but you're so glad that you made it. It was better to make that mistake now than to make it later on. Some of us are anxious about feeling like we have no options, and some of us are anxious about feeling like the one option we do have is not the one that we want most. Though these personal stories are poignant, they're also private, and I've been asked not to include the specifics of these reflections in my speech today. Without sharing with you the full power of their stories, I admit that I do not have much else to say, except that for those of you who I know are in this situation, I believe in you so much. And then some of us aren't worried at all. I apologize that this speech won't resonate with you. Perhaps you may have enjoyed my first draft, where I shared my thoughts on the comparative advantage of the American education system compared to my cousins and family's Taiwanese education system. My thoughts on the definitions of perfection, my own stories of serendipity and development, my overview of advice from professors, and my call for Tufts students to play their role in fostering compassion and equal opportunity in this world. For you in particular, please let me share some of the favorite words of wisdom that I heard over these last 2 days from our peers. They all have personal stories that came with these grains of wisdom, and I hope that you will ask them to elaborate on these experiences after today's ceremony. Accept the fact that you will never be the smartest person in the room on every subject. Leverage what you have the comparative advantage in. Accept that someone knows more than you. Learn from them. Tomas Garcia. The things that make me the most anxious beforehand, skydiving, going abroad, running races, turn out to be the best things. And the things that make me expand and grow most as a person. Hillary Ross. It's more fun to do fun things than it is not to do fun things. Noah Jefferson. Spending 1,000,000 hours making a decision doesn't necessarily help you in making the right decision. Jory Hanselman. Happiness is not the most important human emotion. Jimmy Voorhees. And there is no right way of doing things. Rob Keane. Edward saying, I love this. You asked, what's the point of earning money if you don't know how to use it? And Ryan Clapp, you said, I think one thing that I've learned is that the big decisions tend not to matter as much as the cumulative effect of little decisions. Going to one more event instead of staying in, saying hi at the bus stop instead of plugging in the iPod, going over an assignment one more time. It builds up, leads to a network and series of experiences way more important than whether you move to Milwaukee or Michigan. At the beginning, I posited that emotion and reason are often separate. But if liberal arts education has taught me anything, it is that nothing is so simply black or white. Our feelings color our thoughts, and our thoughts color our feelings. Lillian Pruer, as you explained, particular logics have shaped your emotions. Instead of focusing on securing a job, achieving a certain GPA, or getting accepted into a particular grad school, you remind yourself to think about the potential. It's not what should be there, it's what could be there. Don't focus on amassing some amount of wealth. Don't focus on getting hired to some position. Think about how you can give back to the people you care about, regardless of wealth. And think about how you can affect policy from any position. To Lillian, conceiving of the world in this way helps her feel potential in supposed failures and feel motivated to continue reaching for internal goals, even after what seems like successful endpoints. So here are my final reflections and conclusions. In these last 48 hours, talking to you and trying to capture your voices has provided me with more emotional support and relevant insight than the weeks I've spent reading through famous commencement speeches and reviewing the writings of Lao Tzu and J.J. Rousseau. As we graduate, I expect all of us have and will turn to the most successful, however you define success, to help us strategize our next steps. Incorporate their experiences, reflections, and insight. But remember that this generation, this is our generation, and we have our own issues and concerns, and with that, our own wisdom. It may be similar wisdom to what we've heard from CEOs and Einsteins, but the advice that resonates most comes from those most immediately in our lives. Steve Jobs told us not to worry. In retrospect, all of the dots will connect. But we don't need to hear it from him. Ask anyone else in our class, and they will tell you how they have already come to similar conclusions. Let's encourage each other to draw dots, knowing that these dots will eventually connect to paint the art of our generation. Thank you.
Prayers and readings for the university will be offered by our Protestant chaplain, Rachel Pettingill, our Muslim chaplain, Naila Baloch, and our student baccalaureate readers, Christopher Gardner, Emily Janata, Gabriel Lowenstein, Advait Shah, Usama Suhrawardi, and Lisa Tannenbaum.
Eternal God, your wisdom is greater than our finite minds can attain, and in our little learning, we merely wade in the shallows of the vast oceans of your knowledge. To all of us who study, give curiosity, imagination, and patience enough to wait and work for insight. Help us to doubt with courage and sincerity as we exercise our minds with utmost skill. Eternal God, we pray for the graduates who finish their courses of study and move on to something new. Take away all anxiety and confusion of purpose, and give them confidence in your plan yet unfolded. May you give them generous hearts to offer up their energies, talents, time, and skills for the sake of the entire human family, that the world may become a more just, peaceful, sustainable, and loving home for all its citizens. Eternal God, in this exciting time of commencement, a time of beginnings and endings, bless the students, faculty, administration, staff, alumni, and friends of Tufts University, that we may live out our mission of bringing peace and light to the world. Amen.
Shantipat from Kathopanishad. Together, may we, the teacher and the student, be protected. Together, may we be nourished. Together, may we work with great energy. May our journey together be brilliant and effective. May there be no bad feelings between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. From Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Lead us, the teacher and the student, from unreal to the real. Lead us from the darkness to the light. Lead us from the fear of death to the knowledge of immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace.
Surely this teaching, which I enjoin upon you this day, is not too baffling for you, nor is it beyond reach. It is not in the heavens that you should say, who among us can go up to the heavens and get it for us and impart it to us that we may observe it? Neither is it beyond the sea that you should say, who among us can cross to the other side of the sea and get it for us and impart it to us that we may observe it? No, the thing is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart, to observe it. I call heaven and earth to witness for you this day. I have put before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life so that you and your children will live.
Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? But strive first for the realm of God and God's righteousness, and all of these things will be given to you as well.
The Quran al-Sharah. Have we not opened up thy heart and lifted from thee the burden that had weighed so heavily on thy back? And have we not raised thee high in dignity? And behold, with every hardship comes ease. Verily, with every hardship comes ease. Hence, when thou art freed from distress, remain steadfast, and unto thy sustainer turn with love.
The world is so exquisite, with so much love and moral depth, that there is no reason to deceive ourselves. Far better, it seems to me, in our vulnerability is to look death in the eye and be grateful every day for the brief but magnificent opportunity that life provides.
Everyone will please join in the response. For the values that a university at its best imparts, love of learning and of truth, an understanding of the essential unity of human knowledge and of humankind, a sense of community, self-respect, and respect for others, a commitment to rationality and sanity, and an appreciation of beauty, we offer our thanks and praise.
For the conversations that helped us understand ourselves, that made us realize that we are not alone, that entertained and stimulated and upset us, conversations that broadened our vision and understanding, in classrooms and in dorm rooms, that forced us to mature and think and grow.
We offer our thanks and praise. For the images and memories of this place that will flash in our minds for the rest of our lives, walking up the memorial steps, looking out from the library roof, staying up for yet another all-nighter. We offer our thanks and praise.
For the intellectual skills that a university hones and sharpens, the ability to think logically, to make sound judgments based on evidence, to solve problems by careful analysis and discussion leading to action, to develop thoughts and feelings effectively through the language and symbols, and to appreciate historical and cultural contexts.
For parties and gatherings, planned and spontaneous, that brought us together, for long talks in which our hearts opened up and understanding was born, for relationships with each other, ones that lasted long and even the ones so important at the time, which are vivid no more, yet still remembered. We offer our thanks and praise.
For the willingness to doubt, which the university encourages and supports, to challenge the accepted wisdom in all fields, to examine and test whatever is encountered, to root out and question underlying assumptions, to move from conformity to creativity, and to take intellectual risks.
We offer our thanks and praise. For trips on planes, on buses and bikes, on foot or on the T, that took us away from here and then brought us back. For the new places that intrigued our curiosity, and for the familiar, usual places that made us comfortable. For new people, for the places we met and shared, for this place on this hill. We offer our thanks and praise.
For the laughter that makes our seriousness less difficult, and which gives friendship new levels of joy, and makes memories of friends so full of life. And for the jokes, both good and bad, told once or repeated endlessly, which make life more whimsical and often uncover great wisdom.
We offer our thanks and praise. For the times when children were generous by including parents in their growth and adventures, for the times when parents showed their wisdom by knowing that the way to hold on to children is letting them go, for the experiences that brought the hearts of children and parents closer together in understanding and friendship. We offer our thanks and praise.
I would like to invite Lynn Cooper, Catholic chaplain, to introduce our trustee and our baccalaureate speaker.
Before I introduce the baccalaureate speaker, I want to recognize one of our university trustees who's with us here today, Karen Pritzker. Thank you. On October 21st, 2011, we of Tufts University officially began a new era, inaugurating our 13th president. I say officially because it was clear the moment he stepped onto campus and logged in as a jumbo that first day of August that your president had taken the reins and was determined to get to know you through your entry point, meaning of life in the world. President Monaco is an accomplished leader, scientist, and teacher. A distinguished geneticist, he served as the Pro Vice Chancellor for Planning and Resources at the University of Oxford since 2007. President Monaco holds faculty appointments as a professor of biology in the School of Arts and Sciences and as a professor of neuroscience at Tufts University School of Medicine. He is committed to leading with deliberateness, and this is evident by his support for excellence in all areas of teaching and research and civic engagement. He has brought with him to Tufts an eye for multidisciplinary research initiatives and has been keen to ensure that students and alumni know that he is passionate about doing the hard work at the intersections while sustaining a vision that far exceeds the boundaries. His colleagues extol his astute eye for complexity and innovation, and we see this in his landmark accomplishes in the field of genetics. His regular presence at weekend and evening events speaks to his intentionality and his sincere interest in learning what it means to be a student here at Tufts. While laying the groundwork for strategic planning, he has launched university-wide initiatives on diversity and sustainability, getting at the root of student experiences around difference and leading the university towards responsible action. Students and alumni alike have told me about President Monaco, who is authentic and patient, but perhaps most notably, they are consistently moved by his choice to always listen first. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome your keynote speaker, the 13th President of Tufts University, Dr. Anthony Monaco.
To the class of 2012, greetings and congratulations. It is said that there is a first time for everything. This is your first Tufts graduation and mine as well. It is an honor and privilege for me to deliver my first Tufts Baccalaureate this afternoon. Your class will always be special to me as the first to graduate from Tufts on my watch. To parents, brothers and sisters, relatives and friends of the graduates, welcome to Tufts and welcome to this baccalaureate service. As we begin, I would ask the graduates to stand and recognize the support, care, love, and sacrifice of the parents, families, and friends who have made this day possible. Seniors, please stand and give them a hearty round of applause. Thank you. Before I begin my remarks, I want to thank Alistair. I was delighted when I heard that he would be delivering this year's Wendell Phillips address. That confidence was not misplaced. Thank you, Alistair, for speaking so thoughtfully to and on behalf of your fellow graduates. Tomorrow's commencement will be a wonderful and inspiring occasion. But while all schools participate in that university-wide event, this afternoon is dedicated to your class alone. Here, as at matriculation, you gather together to mark a significant milestone in your life. In preparing for today, I went back to read the advice that President Monaco gave you when you gathered for matriculation in August 2008 on the quad. Earlier that summer, he had asked members of the faculty what they thought you needed to know as you started out at Tufts. So his suggestions really did reflect the spirit of the university. He urged you to develop your curiosity and broaden your intellectual horizons. He urged you to welcome and accept challenges to your preconceptions and attitudes. He urged you to make friendships outside of your comfort zone. And he urged you to establish your independence and to become active citizens. One of the most distinctive features of Tufts is the extent to which it makes all of these things possible for its students. During your time here on the Hill, you have grown both personally and intellectually. You have forged ahead on new paths, often ones that you would never have imagined taking before you arrived here. You have chosen a major, some of you more than one, and in the process of pursuing a body of knowledge deeply, you have developed your skills in critical analysis, in problem solving, and in creative synthesis. You have become part of the Tufts community. You have participated in a sometimes dizzying array of activities on campus, expressing your own individuality and passions at the same time that you have built strong connections with your fellow students. And you have explored your communities and the world. You have come to know Medford, Somerville, Cambridge, and Boston, as well as your own backyards. You have brought what you learned back to your hometowns. And you have experienced for the first time ideas, places, and peoples you knew only from books, movies, TV, and the internet. Membership in an intimate residential community is a unique opportunity for personal growth. You have developed your awareness of the different social, ethnic, and cultural backgrounds of your classmates. You have come to a deepened sense of responsibility to be good stewards of the environment. And you have learned how to look after your classmates when they needed it most. As a class, you leave Tufts with some indelible memories. Certain important collective experiences have helped to define your time here. Just a couple of months after you entered Tufts, the country held a historic presidential election, the excitement of which you shared in the campus center well into the night. And if the inauguration of the nation's first African-American president seemed to mark the beginning of one era, the death of Osama bin Laden just a little over a year ago seemed to mark the end of another. You were reminded of the power of nature when Hurricane Irene bore down upon New England at the start of this academic year. Many of you were helping to lead pre-orientation programs that week in this area and the White Mountains. Thank you for helping ensure that all went well for the fellow students who were depending on you. Both the arts and the athletics have flourished during your years here. You have seen the fabled Bubs on NBC's Sing Off. And you got to watch our men's lacrosse team take the 2010 NCAA National Championship over perennial powerhouse Salisbury. And they hope to do it again this year. You have worked hard at your studies and been active in the community, but you have also had fun together. I hope you will look back fondly on the many opportunities you and your friends had to have a good time. And I gather that waiting for your coats at the Sheraton Hotel after Winter Bash 2 years ago was not one of them. Back here on campus, you have been passionate in your pursuit of new curricular and co-curricular opportunities that express Tufts' values and prepare you to make a difference in the world. A week and a half ago, just as many of you were preparing to take your very last exams at Tufts students, the Faculty in Arts and Sciences voted to approve a new major in Africana Studies. You can be proud of your thoughtful contributions to the discussions that led us there. Tufts encourages you to engage actively with the world outside of its walls. But as a great university, we also give you the chance to hear firsthand from leaders in intellectual and public life. You will remember the opportunity to learn and hear from Tony Blair and Bill Clinton, Michael Pollan and Michael Sandel, Bob Woodward, and Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus. I am personally grateful for the memories that you have given me this year. You have welcomed me warmly. In fact, you made me feel like such a jumbo even before I started on the job, when I got to know some of you, including Alistair, while you studied in Oxford and London as a year abroad as juniors. Since then, I've gotten to know you at senior dinners at Gifford House and many more casual encounters. And you have made me proud to be president at all the performing arts and sporting events that made this campus hum, and at the awards ceremonies this spring to recognize your many accomplishments. You will take many memories with you from Tufts, and I'm willing to bet that most of them will be about people. Here, you have made relationships that will last with you the rest of your lives. At your matriculation, Larry urged you to get to know the faculty, and I know that you have taken his advice to heart. Many of you have developed tremendously valuable relationships with your teachers and mentors. Faculty like Saul Gittleman, who will be friends and advisors for life. Some of you have had the privilege to work alongside your teachers in research projects that have helped move important academic fields forward. You have also built special relationships with staff, coaches, the staff in the dining halls, those in residential life, departmental administrators, and our dedicated facilities team. You will never forget the director who helped you give a great dramatic performance, or the trainer who helped you overcome an injury so that you could once again play a sport you love. Probably no relationship you have made at Tufts, however, will compare with the enduring friendships with your fellow classmates. Many of you will be friends for life with the participants in your pre-orientation program, your first-year roommates, your teammates, and those with whom you studied abroad. You have learned much from each other already, and I hope you will go on learning from each other for a long time to come. The Tufts diploma you will receive tomorrow represents more than just academic achievement and 4 years of college. It signifies this university's distinctive mission and ethos, and represents not only your coursework, but also what you have learned outside the classroom. You have learned that working together, collective effort, far exceeds the sum of the individual parts. Most importantly, as you enter the community of educated men and women, we hope and trust you are prepared for leadership. Leadership is not a spectator sport. Knowledge without action put to the good is a vain enterprise. Values may well be the most important thing you take away from this hill. The values you hold and live by more than anything else will define you as a person. Your class entered Tufts in September 2008, a tumultuous time. Uncertainty, doubt, and an increasingly complex world are still with us today. But it is precisely your values that make us and make each one of you confident of your success and your ability to make good decisions. As you contemplate who you are and who you want to become, I hope that the values we subscribe to on this hill will guide you. First, keep learning. As you do, your ability to think critically will lead to a productive path in life. A virtual mountain of information and data passes before us every day. The critical thinking you have learned here will help you make sense of it, order it, and prioritize it. It will give you the capacity to act on it and to do so wisely. Second, remember how much relationships matter. Just as your relationships here defined much of your time at Tufts, the people in your professional and personal lives will shape the quality of your experiences. And collaboration and collegiality will bring you far more rewards than their opposites. Third, work to make this world a better place. That goal will lead you to the best and most fulfilling path forward. It may be that you will need to take risks or accept new challenges to get there, but I am confident that what you have learned here will make it possible. Don't shy away from the challenges that will let you make a positive contribution. Accept and embrace them. This is one of the special values that we live by at Tufts, because active citizenship and public service are part of our jumbo DNA. It will be tremendously powerful to apply the kind of knowledge you have gained here in the ways suggested by these core principles. And if there is one single mark that Tufts has made on you during your 4 years, I hope this is it. Take your active citizenship into the world to make a difference. Your next step in life may be graduate school or your first job, but active citizenship should stay with you through all the years. If you bring your energy, your passion, and your values to bear, you will make meaningful change. Tomorrow, you graduate from Tufts. As alumni, you will remain an important part of this community while beginning your service as our best ambassadors to the world. Those of us who remain on the Hill will follow your accomplishments. We are confident that you will make Tufts proud. And we want you to come back, not just to tell us about your triumphs, but to let us share in your challenges. While life is a serious matter, you will find it easier to navigate with two traits: a curious nature and a sense of humor. The world is a fascinating place. Open yourself up for all it has to offer and enjoy the ride. Congratulations and best wishes, members of the class of 2012. Thank you.
Thank you, President Monaco. Our vocalist, Laurie Allen, will now lead us in the closing hymn of the baccalaureate service for 2012. I invite you to rise and join in singing.
Be
In conclusion of the baccalaureate service, Rabbi Jeffrey Summit, Jewish chaplain, will offer the benediction. Following the benediction, please remain standing for the recessional of the platform party, followed by the recessional of the senior class. Please rise.
Source of all blessings, at this moment of endings and beginnings, awe sobers our excitement. For the students before us are now different than when first they came. We have all changed during this precious time we've been privileged to share together. We pray for the wisdom to realize that children and parents don't stop needing each other even after children grow into adults. May parents be able to fully see their children as men and women shaped by this impressive achievement. May children be generous and stay in touch, and don't just text. Occasionally, pick up the phone and let us hear your voice. We will miss you. Tell us how you're doing. Blessed are you, God, who brings us to the heights of completion, only to drop us off the cliff of new beginnings. Blessed are you who gives us the strength and courage to end one part of our lives and begin another. Blessed are you who gives families and friends, students and teachers, this opportunity to celebrate together in joy. Thank you for keeping us alive, for sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this very special day. Amen.
less you know, the less you find out as you go. I knew much more then than I do now. Neon heart, day glow eyes, the city lit by fireflies. They're advertising in the skies for people like us. And I miss you when you're not around. I'm getting ready to leave the ground. In a photograph, flash bulbs and purple irises the camera can't see.